folks, Rob Dreemeyer here. Welcome to Broadway Barfly. Stick around till the end because today we're making a Hanky Panky.
If you're a theater fan who loves a great cocktail, click that subscribe button because Broadway Barfly is the channel for you.
In a previous video, I talked about the musical The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas and made a Between the Sheets cocktail. If you haven't already seen that video, please check it out. It's a show and a cocktail I think you'll enjoy. While I was preparing that video, I thought I might pair the show with a cocktail called the Hanky Panky, for obvious reasons, but as I was reading up on it, I learned that it had some interesting theatrical connections and thought that it should have a video all of its own, so here we are. The Hanky Panky cocktail was created by Ada Coleman, or Coley as she was known, and she was the head barmaid at the American Bar in London's Savoy Hotel from 1903 to 1925. During her tenure there, she served all sorts of luminaries, including Mark Twain, Marlene Dietrich, Charlie Chaplin, and the Prince of Wales. The Hanky Panky is by far her most famous and enduring cocktail, namely because it was included in the 1930 Savoy Cocktail Book written by Harry Craddock, who was her successor at the American Bar. She created the cocktail in the early 1920s for a man named Sir Charles Hawtrey, who was a well-known actor and theatrical personality in the West End at that time, and also a regular patron of the American Bar. His work is long forgotten today, but he's probably best remembered for mentoring Noel Coward and helping to launch his career. So the story goes, he would regularly come into the bar and say, "Coley, I'm tired. Give me something with a bit of a punch in it." And because he was an esteemed customer, she wanted to make something unique for him. So she started experimenting, and one night when he came in, she surprised him with a new creation. She told the press in 1925 he first took a sip and then drained the glass and declared, "By Jove, that is the real Hanky Panky." And that's how the cocktail got its name. I should point out that in England in the 1920s, the term Hanky Panky did not have the sexual connotation that it has today, but rather it was slang for something magical or mystical. The Savoy Hotel has an interesting place of its own in London's theatrical history. It was built by Richard D'Oyly Carte, who also founded the D'Oyly Carte Opera in the 1870s. It was the D'Oyly Carte Opera that introduced the work of Gilbert and Sullivan to the world. Gilbert and Sullivan wrote comic operettas such as The Pirates of Penzance, The Mikado, HMS Pinafore, and their work was extremely successful. I mean, really successful. So much so that D'Oyly Carte was able to fund the building of the Savoy Hotel with profits from those productions. Operetta in general has long fallen out of fashion, yet Gilbert and Sullivan's work is still frequently presented all throughout the world. They got a huge boost in popularity in modern times when Joe Papp mounted a production of The Pirates of Penzance that starred Kevin Kline, Rex Smith, and Linda Ronstadt. It premiered in 1980 at the Delacorte Theater in Central Park in New York City. The Delacorte is the home of Shakespeare in the Park every summer. The production was a big success and a few months later was transferred to Broadway, where it ran for nearly 2 years, making it Gilbert and Sullivan's longest running production throughout their very impressive history. In 1983, there was a film version made with most of the Broadway cast intact, and even though the film is very faithful to the stage version, it does lack a little bit of that magic, or shall we say Hanky Panky, that made the show such a hit on Broadway. If you're interested in Gilbert and Sullivan, I can highly recommend the 1999 British film Topsy, Turvy. It's a fascinating look at Gilbert and Sullivan and their creative collaborations. So let's make our Hanky Panky. To make our Hanky Panky, we need gin, sweet vermouth, and fernet branca. This is the first time we're using fernet branca on the channel, but it won't be the last. It's an Italian bitter liqueur. It has a very strong flavor, I would say almost a menthol quality to it. It was first formulated in 1845 as a cure for cholera and menstrual cramps. Who knew? Because of its very strong flavor, people either love it or hate it. I happen to like it, but I think the secret is to learn how to use it in just the right amounts, and I really love it in this cocktail. So we're going to start with 1.5 ounces of gin, 1.5 ounces of our sweet vermouth, and then about a bar spoon of the fernet branca. You could use less, especially if it's your first time trying it, just to see if you like it or not. And I'll point out that the original recipe calls for 2 dashes, which really isn't an exact amount. And then we're going to add some ice to our glass and give this a good stir. We'll strain it into our cocktail glass. And garnish it with a twist of orange peel. And there you have a Hanky Panky. As always, thank you for spending your time with us here at Broadway Barfly, and make sure to check out our Broadway show clip videos. I post them so you have something to enjoy while sipping your cocktail. Until the next time, cheers.
If you enjoyed the video, why not give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends? Feel free to leave your comments and click that subscribe button because there's a lot more Broadway Barfly to come.